So I was born in Houston, but I come from a long line of Texans. My father was a very, very intelligent man, and he was pretty intense. My mother was pure fun. I grew up as a pretty serious student, but if I got too serious, my mom would take me out of school and take me to the movies or go get Mexican food. On a good day, I'm a nice combination of both of them. So I went to Washington and Lee University, but it was an all-male college. I was the second class of females through there. It was a man's world, which I think was probably a good jumping off point to start in the work world at that time, certainly for Washington, DC, and probably for the wireless industry at that time too. I went back to Texas and went to law school, but a bunch of people who were at CTIA were recruited by Tom Wheeler to join this trade association that had cellular telephones. No one knew really what they were at that time. When I got the call after law school from Steve Barry that I could join them here at CTIA, I jumped, and I was trained by Tom Wheeler and Meredith Attwell and Steve Barry all about the winning ways of Washington, DC and the wireless industry. Caught the bug, and I've been in the industry for 25 years since then. Spectrum policy is key to everything I've accomplished. NTIA is advisor to the president on telecommunications. I started out there as a senior policy advisor and ended up as acting administrator for 2.5 years there. When I went to NTIA, our first charge was to relocate federal spectrum to commercial spectrum for mobile broadband. It was really hard.
We as an industry were trying to drive ourselves into the forefront of communications in this country. So Meredith, she was a true advocate to try to find solutions around, hey, how do I get more spectrum and make this a good thing in terms of driving not just innovation, but I also want to make sure that it's light touch on regulation. I want to make sure that it creates a funding pool for the government. I also want to make sure that I'm delivering services for all communities.
All the lessons we learned from how hard that was really helped us and paved the way for AWS-3, the largest grossing auction that we've had, and it really is where our 4G networks live. And so that's what really, really transforms our lives. Where television was in the analog spectrum, and by moving them to digital, it compressed them and it gave us this fantastic spectrum for mobile broadband.
You not only had to open up spectrum, you had to find ways to free it up. There's a big difference between just opening it up and finding ways to make it available.
To get there, we had to do a coupon program as Congress required.
Standing up this entire public-facing new program, and you're gonna get coupons in the mail from the government, and she made it work.
Over half of the spectrum that the industry uses now was procured in the last 9 years. So all of that has really led us to be the leaders in wireless in the world.
Meredith understands that in times of crisis, it's important that industries step up. When COVID occurred and the world became locked down, she identified the gap for our students and developed the Connected Kids program.
Connected Kids was a way for schools to figure out where kids could find wireless to learn.
More than 2.4 million young Americans were connected to the internet during the pandemic thanks to the hard work and leadership of CTIA and Meredith in making sure that critical link stayed in place despite the pandemic.
I would say for a long time I've fought a little bit being picked out as a woman leader because I felt like I accomplished what I accomplished because I was the best at it. But I realize now that to actually mentor the next generation, you have to realize that some of the parts of these jobs are different for women because you have to manage an awful lot of different things. When I came to Washington, the women that I worked for were tough. They were probably more tough than most of the men. I am very grateful to them because I think they allowed my generation of women to be women and to lead as women. I am so grateful, so honored, but really just so humbled to join the ranks of these luminaries of this incredible industry.
She just has a passion and an energy, and I think she carries that with her throughout her whole life. She's going to continue to do a fantastic job, and she really deserves this recognition into the Wireless Hall of Fame.
I also can't wait to see what the next generation of leaders and who the next inductees are, because where this industry is going is so exciting.